Abby thought I was talking to somebody. Come here. Come here. Come be on the live stream. Here she is. This is sweet little Miss Abby. Um, so I didn't have a video for today. Oh, what is that, Abby? Um, I'm noticing as she's getting older that she has like these little growths on her skin. It's like such a old dog thing. Um, but she's quite healthy still. Anyway, I didn't have a video prepared because I've been tearing apart my van and fixing it. And so I just thought that I would come on here and go live. Hey, David. Um, and check in with you all, show you guys what I'm up to and what is consuming my brain space at the moment. I got stranded on the side of a freeway a handful of nights ago. And it was because of a massive leak in my radiator. And it was a little bit scary, actually. The whole van shut down, and I kind of like lost the power steering. And luckily, there was some space on the side. There was like a small shoulder, not a big shoulder, and I was able to pull over to that space. I had some extra like spare coolant in the van and got some coolant in there, some water, got it running, and managed to get myself off of the freeway. And since then, it has been just constant fixing. I already had a list of things that needed to be fixed on the van just for like living purposes, but the added thing with like mechanical stuff has added a lot to this week. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining. So luckily, the radiator thing, I got that sorted. My brother helped me with that, and there was a transmission fluid leak, and got that sorted. And I took it to my local mechanic, just to like check out if anything else is wrong, because driving on the rough roads in Baja, like things get loose all the time and whatever. But she actually, I don't know, they couldn't find anything else wrong with her. So fingers crossed that that's all sorted, which I'm really, really grateful for. And I'm so glad that I got through that safely. It was a little bit dicey. I'm sure all of you have experience of being broken down on the side of the freeway, but it's not a good feeling when like cars are zooming by you in your car and there's not enough space. It was kind of a funny situation thinking back on it, of course, because I'm lucky that I have my house with me, because I got off the freeway and found just like the sketchiest gas station in the world, and I just slept there. Like there was a guy working at the convenience store, and he seemed so confused about my situation. I was like, "Is it okay that I just sleep in the parking lot?" He was like, "Yeah, I guess." Kind of the weirdest thing that he's probably been asked in a little while. But it worked out. It was nice. Let's see. Hey, Dennis, thanks for joining. Sounds like you may have gotten coolant on the belts, which could cause the belts on the power steering pump to slip. Oh, I don't know. This has happened in the past where the van has shut down for other reasons. I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Sometimes these old vehicles, I take them to mechanics and they're just like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm hoping to get like, if I can get another good year out of her, I'm gonna be stoked. I'm looking into this year is going to be a learning and research phase of possible future homes in the still like mobile life lifestyle. But it would be great to not be like forced out of living in Ariel because of breakdowns or whatever. So I'm trying to take good care of her so that I can get some more time out of her. But yeah, I'll keep that in mind, Mike. Because yeah, I'm not really sure about that. Um, Luckily, everything seems to be okay. The other projects that I here, I don't even know. I never go live here. Oh, here we go. Okay. So the other issues that I am dealing with, this is my DC to DC charger, and that stopped working in Baja. So I've been looking into that, trying to figure out what's going on there. And that is the key for me to be able to charge my house battery. So, not my van battery, like my house, my living battery, be able to charge that when I'm driving. And that's really important when I have uh, long spans of time in places where it's really cloudy. So, like, I'm heading to Monterey to teach a rescue course in like a week. And Monterey is notoriously cloudy. So I need to get that sorted and working before I head there. So that is a big one. That's a big priority. I also found out when I was in San Diego that my windshield is still leaking. So I've been like trying to fix that situation. I scraped off all the stuff that I put on it when I was in a pinch in Wyoming, and I've re-cured it, and I'm just like fingers crossed hoping that it's actually going to be waterproof now. She really needs a wash. So once that's all cured, I'm going to give her a deep clean on the outside and see if anything comes in. So, lots of things that I need to just I'm trying to do my best with fixing them myself, and I'm hoping for the best. Let's see here. James says if the engine stops, you have no power steering or power brakes. Yeah, correct. Um, Dennis, broken fuse maybe. That was my first thing because I've had the fuse go out before for the DC to DC charger, and that's a really easy fix. I have backup fuses. That was not the case, so I made a reel or something about fixing that, um, but or trying to fix it, but that didn't end up working. So we shall see. I have my brother is a BMW mechanic and he's very good at what he does. So I'm hoping he's going to be able to give some insight in the places where I get stuck. Uh, but yeah, I'm sure that we'll be able to get it sorted. Let's see. That's also why this is torn apart. So this is normally my scuba gear container. I'm sitting on the side wall of it. But one of the wires for that comes down through here. And we thought it was really smart to like put everything and tuck it into this little space so that it's just like away and not getting squashed by scuba tanks. But I found that I can't access it unless the whole side is down. So it's not the most well designed piece of wiring there. But it works. Well, it doesn't at the moment, but it will. It will again, I'm sure. Um, so, driver, I feel like driver 3692 is my brother. I don't remember what his YouTube name is. Anyway, so yeah, right now I just have all of my stuff. I'm at my dad's house. I have all of my stuff just like in the floor in the garage. My family is so wonderful that they put up with me for this kind of stuff. And that's what my day, what my week has looked like. I've also got, here, I'm just going to show all of the ugliness of what I have going on right now. Um, so the insulation on the roof was falling down. So I ripped all of this part off and I had like you guys have seen like the fabric covering there and it was all just totally sagging. So ripped all that out. I need to re-adhere that. That is fiberglass. So I don't know if you guys have worked with fiberglass before. I don't know if I just didn't have the right adhesive, but it's not sticking. So I need something a little bit stronger, but I'm also kind of not loving the idea of something that's really sick. Because I live in here. But yeah, driver 3692 is my brother. um, hey, Christopher, thanks for joining. Um, so there's that project, and then I'm also gonna drill a hole in the bottom of my van so that I can vent the toilet. I have a composting toilet in here and I want to get some airflow to it just because, not going to go into details because it's not necessary, but in hot environments, it's necessary. So, yeah, I'm taking the opportunity right now to like just deep clean everything because it's a total mess after being on beaches the last 4 months and trying to get this sorted because, like I said, I have to be in Monterey very, very soon. Um, okay, Gabe, brother, you are probably going to be drilling the hole. Jerk. I try, we were just thinking about how I did the electrical system pretty much all by myself, and I'm really proud of that. But drilling holes in my van kind of freaks me out, and you do the power tools. So I'm learning. I'm trying to be better about it, but I'm definitely not the skilled one in the family in that regard. Uh, Insulation panels can be cut to size and come in various thicknesses. Yeah, I've just been reusing Reflectix that I have, just because I don't really want to buy extra stuff. I have enough. Um, it's not like I don't know. I only really suffer with heat, if it's, like, really, really hot, and I try to avoid that anyway just by, like, traveling to places that aren't so hot, but Abby and I are kind of like we like the heat. So, I'm not necessarily, trying to super protect this because I'm sort of a fair weather van girl, like, I follow the good weather, uh so I mostly just want it to keep a little bit out and look okay. So that's sort of the game plan with the insulation in the roof. Um, let's see. Christopher says, "Have you seen Matt Estla's home home van build?" I have not. I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people on YouTube that do the things that I do just because I edit a lot of videos of like what I'm doing. And so I kind of like to watch other random things when I'm on YouTube, like John Oliver. That's one of my favorites. Um, so no, I have not seen that. I'm sure that there's a lot I could learn from actually watching other people and their van builds. But I'm also kind of like, I like to keep things really, really simple with my build. Like, a lot of people that have a social media presence have, the full wiring with everything electrical and the pumps and the water and the whatever. Like, my build is so basic. Like, I have full access. I mean, I do have a decent amount of electricity because I need it for what I do. But I mean, there was a long time. I think the first year and a half, 2 years of living in this thing that I just, like, ran everything off of a Jackery, you know what I mean? So, like, it's uh, I just like to keep things as simple as possible. I think it's beautiful when I see people that have these really nice vans and they've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on them, but it's just not for me. Uh, Badri, hey, I haven't seen you here. Welcome. Uh, let's see. Mike says, if you're going to be somewhere the weather sucks, you might as well get a house. Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to chase the good weather as long as I can, for sure. Um, so yeah, I have a video that I'm preparing for you guys. It's my last one for my trip to the Riviera Maya. Um, it's diving in Cozumel, and it's there's some stuff in there that I'm not sure how I want to talk about, like how I want to approach it. So, and there's a lot of footage, like a lot of footage. So it's just taking me a little bit longer to get through than some of my other ones. Um, but I will have that out for you guys. Hey, Chris. I feel like there's a lot of Chris's here in the chat right now. um, so yeah, that's gonna come out next Sunday. And like I said, I wanted to just hop on here and say hi to you guys because I don't have something to share this week. Um, but yeah, that's coming for you guys. I also have a video for my time in San Diego where I got to actually hang out with Jay from the Dive Table podcast. We got to meet and go diving together, and it was really cool because we hadn't done that. We'd only been virtual before that. So it was nice to actually get to know each other. And I really enjoy Jay as a dive buddy. Like he was super put together and really like patient with me as I was like screwing around with my camera, taking shots of things. Um, so that was really cool. And we got some pretty decent dive days in Southern California, which was hard to come by, apparently, as David, if David's still here, knows. He was in town for a minute to try to do CCR training, and the weather did not support that. So canceled our dives. We were going to go diving together as well. Um, so yeah, that's another video that's coming up, and then I have a bunch of plans for May. If anybody is in Monterey the first 2 weeks of May, please reach out to me. You have my email on my website. I'd love to meet up if you want to do a course with me. I'm going to be teaching. Uh, and then also, I'm literally leaving for Indonesia, like the second or third week of May. So that's happening. If there's still a couple of spots on the Komodo dive expedition, if you've been thinking about joining last minute, I would love to have you. But I also know that it's a huge trip across the planet. But I've been so pumped for that. I'm beyond, like, beyond excited to show people around. Let's see, Stefan, hi from Sweden. Right now we had some snowfall, not a lot, but still, woof, that's good luck with that. I would freeze. Thank you for joining us, though. Appreciate it. Um, let's see here. Christopher asks, with all your traveling, do you have particular shops you stop at for visuals and hydro testing on your tanks? I actually, yes, I kind of do. Actually, my visuals are coming up next month, and I do them at, oh gosh, Aquarius Dive Center in Monterey. I've gotten pretty familiar. That's part of the reason why I like traveling the way that I do is I spend a decent amount of time in the towns where I am, and so I'll get to know people. And Central Coast, Monterey is the place that I'm like most familiar with, besides Seattle. Seattle, I have a lot of connections and I know a lot of dive shops around there. But yeah, I tend to do work either on the Central Coast or in Monterey. So that's coming up. And I was actually just thinking about that as I removed everything from this container back here. I was like, "Ooh, my visuals are coming up. I gotta deal with that before I get things filled." So yeah, as far as hydro, gosh, when I think I did that around this area as well. So I don't know. It's always nice to go back to the same people. I mean, if you're, um, it's not like a hard thing to get arranged though, as long as you're going to be somewhere where you can stay and like pick it up later. Um, like especially for Viz, it's easy. Like do it super quick. With hydro, it takes a little bit more time. So you just have to put that into your planning of things. Let's see here. Chris, May in Indonesia, 40 Celsius and humid. Yeah. The trip, so the dive expedition isn't until the first week of June, and June is actually quite lovely on Flores Island. June, July, it's really, really nice. It's usually warm during the day and a little bit cooler at night. Um, hey, Sean, speaking of the Komodo dive expedition, Sean's going to go on that. Um, let's see here. Hi, Jeff from Seattle. Would love to join for Baja. I would love to have you. Send me an email A really awesome group is coming together for the Baja trip in December. Um, and then there's also Socorro going on in 2025. So lots of cool stuff. I'm actually talking to some people about other projects and possible trips in the future. So for those of you that like to plan things far in advance, you can the best way to know about those is either by being a member of Patreon or my email list. So that's where I announce these things first. Um, oh yeah, David and Sean know each other. That's so cool. Um, um, and David plugging my Patreon. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Um, let's see here. Chris says, when it's that hot, do you still wear a full suit? I dive in Canada and it's cold. Um, when it's that hot, so I'm like pretty much always in a full suit. Like I can't remember the last time I wore a shorty. I think probably my dive master course in Thailand, like a long time ago. Um, so if it's like really warm water, I'll end up wearing, a 3 millimeter. Like I was wearing a 3 millimeter in Cozumel, and that was fine. I wore a hood because I did get a little bit chilly with that. But I like wearing a full suit just because of like things in the water, getting stung by a little jellyfish and stuff. Like I just don't want to deal with that. So I like having the full protection. Um, I know lots of people like having the freedom of wearing just like one of these, like a little sun shirt and whatever, but I also am a baby and I get cold. So wetsuits are good for me. Um, oh, cool. Militia's here too. Awesome. So both Militia and Sean are coming to Komodo with me. I'm so stoked. 2 weeks. That's freaking rad. Oh my gosh, I want to hear about that. So send me an email or message on social media and let me know how it goes because the first few dives are not always the easiest. Some people get into it and they're just like, whatever, it's totally fine. Not hard at all. It was hard for me. It was not an easy transition. But obviously I love it because that's what I'm still diving. Let's see here. Quiet life for me. I don't know what your first name is, but just got back from Cozumel, 80 degrees Fahrenheit water. Yeah, the water was beautiful in Cozumel. I hadn't done so much diving in Cozumel. I'm going to talk about it in the video for next week. But I was mostly just familiar with the rec that's out there because I would do the rec training and teach the rec specialty out there. Uh, and otherwise, I was just diving in Playa del Carmen and the cenotes. So it was cool to actually spend time there. I finally got to go to Devil's Throat, which was exciting, and I got footage for that. So you guys will see that next week. Oh, it's Tyler Dive Otter. Awesome. Cool. I'll have to remember that. Quite like me. You guys have different names on different platforms, so I get lost sometimes. Let's see. Hey from Greece, how you doing? Um, let's see. Chris says I do waste air not dressing warm enough, but I love that free feeling. Yeah, I totally get you. I don't know. It's nice to be warm. um, how's Abby? Abby is doing great. She loves being at Grandpa's house. She gets all of the treats that she wants, and she is very pushy about asking for treats. Very food motivated, but she's doing awesome. I need to get her to the vet for like a bunch of routine kind of shots and tests and whatever, but she seems to be doing good. She's gonna be 13 at the end of this summer, which is so crazy. I'm really grateful that she's still doing so well. Uh, she's just her little old lady personality is coming out though. It's quite interesting. I've shared this with my Patreon members, but there was one day where she's usually really good off leash. She like follows me and whatever. But I'm realizing that I think those days are over. Like, I need to change my behavior because her awareness of, like, what's going on around her and her, like, mental clarity is changing. So, like, we were out and, we crossed paths with someone, and I think she got confused and just started following him. The sweet thing, she, like, went with him and, like, crossed the street with him, and I turn around and I'm just like, "What are you doing?" And she's, like, looking at me like, "I don't know how I got here." Oh my gosh. My grandpa used to say, "Getting old ain't for sissies," and that's what I think about whenever she has a little lapse in memory. There was another it was actually the same day where we were still off leash because I'd picked her up from that situation, and we were, like, running around the field again, and, she stopped to go to the bathroom and forgot that I was there, I think. And, like, I laugh because it's a little bit sad too, but, like, you have to laugh. You gotta find joy in these getting older moments. But, she was done and then looked around and couldn't figure out where I was, and I was, like, waving at her and calling to her. She couldn't I don't know, she couldn't hear me, I guess. But she remembered where the van was, so she ran over to the van and then, realized that I wasn't there, came walking back with that, like it just breaks my heart, like, that little look of, like, so much concern on her face. And I'm, like, yelling at her and clapping and, like, "I'm over here," and then she looks and she perks up and she's like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing ever." And she ran over to me. I'm just like, "Oh, no." Sweet baby girl. Gabriel. My brother is terrible. She has not Abby has always had a really funny personality, but these are different changes. This is like old dog changes for sure. Um, and she does have the that kind of puppy mentality still. She still runs around and is very joyful, so I'm grateful for that. Let's see. Denise says hi from Arizona. Hey, hey. Um, Would love to join you after you get a transplant. Oh, what is that? Send me an email, Denise. I feel like, have we talked somewhere else? Possibly. Send me an email. I'd love to uh, hear from you. Let's see here. Sean says, "Will Abby be on the boat in Komodo?" Absolutely not. So when I moved back without her, and then went to all levels of like extremes to get Abby back to me, which I will tell you guys more in detail on that trip. I may share about it in a video. I've talked about it in different places before, but that was like a whole traumatic thing. And she went through hell coming back from Indonesia. I When I got her back, I sat her down because I have conversations with my dog as if she's a human being. And I've had a discussion with her telling her that I would never put her on another airplane. She only travels with me in the van. So she is going to live a life of luxury at grandpa's house while I'm in Indonesia. And she's not going to miss me one bit. It's going to be great. Um, does Abby hand out butterscotch candy yet? I mean, she's technically, what is that? 12, what is that, 84 in dog years? Like she's in the butterscotch candy era for sure. For sure. And she's just like I've cleared out the here, I'm gonna show you guys because she's adorable. And why not? You guys are getting a full look at my home right now. Look at this sweet girl. I cleared out the front seat and left the comfy blanket. So obviously that's where the queen sits. Yes, you're a good girl. And then this right here is my latest van child. We're gonna see how long I can keep that alive. Uh, my last one, I think, only survived about a couple of months, so I don't have a lot of faith in myself. Um, let's see here. Do 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 do. Let's see. Mike says it's crazy how much crap you have to go through to bring a pet home from overseas. It's extreme, and Indonesia was like the extreme of extreme. I love Mexico for that reason. It was never a challenge. Yeah, just make sure that they have their shots and they're good to go. So, always appreciate that. Um, yes. Aw, Sean, loving owner. We love that as veterinarians. Yeah. I mean, how can you not love your little babies, you know? They're just, ugh, they're the best. Um, let's see here. Tyler says an older woman on our boat in Cozumel last week was handing out butterscotch candies after every dive. The boat crew was going crazy for them. Well, that's a good client. That sounds fun. Um, thanks for being here, Christopher. Enjoy cooking your dinner. Yeah, and send me the videos. I mean, it's good to see resources and see what people do with these things. Again, usually their projects are much more involved than anything I want to take on. Um, but you know, it's still good to get inspiration. Let's see here. Yeah, hit me with any questions you have. I'm probably going to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. I just really appreciate you all being here and like wanting to see what's going on. And again, I'll be back to regular videos in the next week. I find that it's quite challenging to keep up with all of the stuff that I do for like clients. So I do a lot of client work to pay, you know, to build my salary. And then also create a full like YouTube video every single week. So sometimes it's just like, you know, when life is happening and there's all these other things that I need to dedicate time to, it's not possible to get it all done. But I'm doing my best. I'm trying to keep up for things or keep up with things. But sometimes, you know, you got to prioritize uh, things that are impacting your living. um, so Mike asks if I've been diving in Cuba. I have not. I've never been to Cuba. It's a place that I was interested in visiting. I don't know what the status is on going there at the moment. I feel like they wouldn't want us there, that maybe we're not allowed. I'm not really sure. Um, but that I'm sure it's cool. They haven't had as much like open tourism, so maybe the reefs are okay. I really don't know anything about the diving there. Um, but yeah, it would be neat. It'd definitely be neat. Um, let's see. Sean asks if I have plans for a Sewell rash guards. I have not. I mostly just have merch through a company that um, does the printing and the sending for me, so I don't have to hold inventory, which I would not be able to do. Um, and I wouldn't be able to like stay on top of mailing things out and whatever. Like, I just don't have time or space for that. So I can basically sell anything that the shop that I work with offers. And I don't believe that they have rash guards. If they ever did, I would definitely do it. Or, you know, maybe I'll look into a company that could do something like that. Um, but yeah, it hasn't been on the radar. I'm only wearing this because I just became a Patty ambassador, and so I got some Patty swag, and I love that they've got SPF in them. So as I'm running around in the sun doing all of these repairs and trying to keep keep my skin safe. But yeah, I'll look into it. You guys seem interested. I'll check it out, see if I know that there are companies that do it. My main criteria is just that I want to design it and, like, put it out there, but I don't want to do anything with actually production like, the production and the, um, sending and dealing with returns. I want nothing to do with that. I don't have time for it. So if I can find a company that's willing to do all of that, then that would be great. Um, cool. Yeah, I'm sure the Dive Talk guys have all of that super keyed in. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't watch a lot of other YouTubers in this realm, but they're doing a lot of stuff. So, no, it's maybe I'll have to do that, see who they work with, and see if that would work for me. Um, so yeah, whew, I feel like I need a nap. My God. Um, any other questions? I'm happy to answer pretty much anything. So please throw them in the chat. Otherwise, we're gonna start wrapping this up. Let's see. David says that will happen after you're done drilling the hole in the van. Yeah, I'm gonna put my brother to work. He's so nice. He puts up with me. Um, Origin might be the way to go since they're 100% US made. Oh, okay. Do you ever do this? I was like, "Oh, Origin, I'm gonna make a note of that," not realizing that I'm using the device where I usually put all of my notes. Oh my gosh, I'm, like, looking around, "Where's my phone?" I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way, I'm gonna write that down. Um, yeah, let's see. Any plans for the next van? Maybe start a funding tab, for that. Um, any plans for the new van or the next van? Anybody from Patreon wanna jump in there? I've shared a lot more about um, my plans. Oh, my dad's rolling in. Maybe I can get him to make a cameo. Um, this is living on the street. I'm live on YouTube right now. No, you're fine. Come say hi after. um, yeah, I've shared a lot more about my plans and my hopes and dreams for the future in Patreon. So they get to hear a bit more about my the ins and outs of what I'm trying to do. And David threw it in there. I'm looking at possibly sailboat life. I don't know anything about sailing. I have owned a boat before, but that was a very different vessel. Uh, so I have a lot to learn, but that's my big thing on the horizon if I can find something that works for me and I can afford to live on it because I know I remember how expensive boats are. Uh, so yeah, we shall see. I'm kind of hoping that this van will last long enough until I can make that transition. That's the goal. Um, let's see here. Come here, sweetie. Come here. Come say hi again. She gets real nervous when grandpa comes home because, well, not nervous. She gets excited because grandpa means treats. You're not even going to respond to that? It means cookies. No? Okay. Well, she gets very, very excited about it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, hey, Jose from Argentina. Bienvenidos. They're saying hi to you, Abby. You're being disrespectful by running away. So yes, thank you all for being here. I'm gonna wrap this up and probably grab my brother from inside and drill a hole in the bottom of the van. I It's gonna be super fun. But he's in the garage right now, so we're gonna get to work. I appreciate you all. Like I said, I will have a new video for you next week, and have a wonderful Sunday wherever you are in the world. Um, yeah. I will talk to you later. Goodbye.